Dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end. Turns into an arm. Alright. How are we doing, my nerds? Good, I hope. This is probably going to be a relatively short, sharp, and sweet one, because as much as I love the Stunticons, let's face it, their designs feel a little bit like they were done by an intern on a Friday. I will admit, Dead End does seem like one of the cooler ones, what with his sunnies and no mouth. He'd do that really affectatious, cool bad guy thing where all the other Stunticons jump up and run out the room and he just takes a beat so that, you know, he's the one who stands up last. He's that guy. He looks pretty cool and he feels like he's got a bit of chunk to him. I do like these decos and I am a fan of the metallic paint. I think it just helps break things up a little more and create a little bit more surface variation. I also like being able to see some alt mode pieces and not have them be in your way. Yeah, it's a big backpack, but I like it way more than whatever the hell his name is. Weird Ears. I mean, it's a bigger, more solid piece, but I still think it's less intrusive than what we got on Wild Rider. And it doesn't super bug me when like the hood of a car ends up on a back, because it's like, yeah, right, well, that makes sense. It's got to go somewhere. It's not ruining his silhouette. It doesn't stick out particularly far. It is pretty broad, but like, I guess all that means is it's a little harder to shoot him in the back. I will say, sculpt-wise, he's got the strange little feet. I'm not a big fan of the strange little feet that he sometimes has. I kind of think it'd be almost cooler if we just ended up with, you know, these flipped around and he had big chunk Mega Man boots, instead of, I don't know, these weird little penguin feet. Just quickly on the deco, there must have been like some excess plastic when mine got assembled, because this pinhole is red, this one is silver. Does this make it a rare variant? In terms of articulation, that head I don't think is on a ball joint, I think it's just on a swivel. Yeah, that'd just be a swivel. Shoulders go up, so we can T-pose. All the way around from a shoulder universal, bicep swivel, almost a 90 out of that elbow. No wrist swivel. Ooh, controversial. He has a full waist swivel, so he can do his best TikTok from Return to Oz.
Gonna smack him if he getting too drunk.
Or Insaniac from Small Soldiers. Or Taz from Looney Tunes. It's a much more common motif than I'd thought. Or the mask. Well, I guess the mask was doing it to be like Taz. Does an homage count? What are we talking about again? Universal hip, thigh swivel, knee bend. That I guess goes to 90, but you gotta make him throw some sort of, you know, some wider shapes. It doesn't look good. It's not a good looking 90. He's never going to be able to sit down on anything other than his own bulbous calves. But that said, his standing high jump must be incredible. Then we get a little bit of backwards on the toes from transformation and a generous tilt, but they're still stupid shoes. By way of accessories, he comes with a couple of cool barbed blasters. That hook on the end of that barrel, like, it's clearly not for sighting because it's got a sight on top, which makes me think he does a lot of, you know, up close melee stuff as well. So maybe he's like mid-range support. Because with all the other Stunticons dual wielding, it feels to me like they hang back and provide cover fire while Motormaster gets in there and, you know, takes a more hands-on approach. They're pretty cool, you know? Dual wield, who doesn't love it? Pow, 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 pow. He doesn't really have any sort of purposed weapon storage, but you know, I guess you could stick them in his shins. I don't know why you would, but like, you know, there's a peg, you see a port, you try it out. And by way of a quick comparison, let's go ahead and have a look at him alongside fellow Stunticon, Night Monkey. What's really weird about these two is, like, they are, like, you know, there's only like a millimeter or 2 millimeters difference in their height, but for some reason, because of Dead End's proportions, he feels short.
You're not funny, Tom. You're fat and look as though you should be, but you're not.
His transformation is actually surprisingly, like, innovative and nuanced. He's not your average car former. The only real issue I have is that on my copy at least, just like we saw with the shoulder, there's a few plastic burrs around the place that I feel like are affecting how well he actually tabs together. You'll see what I mean as we get into it. Flip his arms down. Flip his wheels down. Tab that back. Unpeg those arms. Fold that head away. Bring it up. Bring it up. Plug it in. These pieces are going to sit on top of these pieces. as you plug that arm so it's partially inside the chest cavity. Collapse it all back down. Untab the hood. Ooh, that's a new one. But a good chance to show you what I'm talking about. See this burr here? I think that might be affecting things a little bit. I mean, I can clean it up, but I really don't think I should have to. These ports inside the hood are going to cover up these tabs on the back of the arms, hypothetically. Fold out the feet, and this is one of those slot tabs, so you're going to want to slot that down and make sure that the legs are sitting as square as possible. Again, can you see the little plastic burrs on this side and corresponding on that side and on these pieces as well, right? When you've got plastic burr there, there, and there, it's bound to have an effect on how things slot together, right? Plug them in, and then we want to fold in the leg bits, and these tabs are going to have corresponding slots there. Then you just close that. Done, son. See how this isn't all sitting nicely together at the back? I'm telling you, that's got to be the work of some of those plastic burrs or something, right? I just don't see why they don't want to be friends.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
No, it just doesn't want to stay pegged. I'm going to have to get in there and go around the place with a file, but either way, car. It looks like a car. It looks like a very 80s car. That's cool. We can do that. It does have reasonably average clearance. Like, he'll roll a little bit, but I found that really all four wheels don't touch the ground as he rolls. He rolls enough that you can still have some fun with it. I can imagine if you rolled that around too much, you'd end up scratching off some of this paint. Which I like battle damage, so I don't super care about. Woo! You can, if you feel the inclination, go ahead and take those guns and stick them on the roof. Roof guns. And for a vehicle mode comparison, here he is alongside Jackpot. Yeah, cool, it's a car. But I think we all know the reason that we're really gathered here today. I think we can all agree that this bad boy right here is the real reason for his existence. Cars are cool and all, but he's going to be much more useful as an arm. You know what I mean? I'm sick of Menasaur looking like that guy from Lady in the Water.
Most people say, hey, what's wrong with you, Reggie? Why are you only working out on one side of your body? Tell him it's like an experiment. I'm like a scientist.
So, to attach him is very simple. It's the exact same sort of thing we did with the drag strip. Get that arm folded up into its G1 homage shape. Then you take the car, and it has a series of ports that correspond to these pegs. So we just want to go ahead and get them all in. It's this nubbin here connecting with that red piece, which is actually going to end up separating him. You can leave it like that if you want to be hardcore G1, but it, you know, definitely doesn't look as cool as it all separated out, so it actually sort of functions. So you just grab it. This one doesn't come apart quite as easily as what drag strip does, so you do have to give it a little bit of oomph. But then you just extend and peg, extend and peg. Now, isn't that a satisfying feeling?
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American. Whew.
I think the barbed barrels actually work pretty well on this one because the ports are further down, so he would kind of be shoot, stab, punching. That's the trifecta of pain. Only one more to go. That is looking so good. It makes me want to go and play Transformers Devastation. He is finally, at least on the top half, looking the way I feel like he should. He's eaten all his spinach, now he's ready to fight to the finish. So I know normally this is the part of the video where we'd go back to bot mode for final thoughts, but my final thoughts reside here. This is his purpose.
Oh my god.
This is what I want. Car bots are cool, but if I need a red Decepticon, I guess I've got Knockout. What I didn't have was a big red right arm for Menasaur. And now we do.